Hey, welcome back to Get Down to Business, the show all about homes and shops and entrepreneurship. Joining us today is a marketing expert who has been navigating the world of paid search since 2004, long before it became the complex ecosystem that it is today. I'm joined by Jeff Coleman. He's the founder of Factor 4 Marketing and the architect of what he calls the lead engine. His agency manages over $4 million in annual ad spend, working with everyone from local service businesses to Fortune 500 organizations to deliver qualified leads month after month. He's a former instructor at UC San Diego Extension, and Jeff is known for cutting through the agency jargon and smoke and mirrors to show business owners how to stop wasting money and start generating real ROI. Welcome to the show, Jeff.
Thanks so much for having me, Shalom.
Absolutely. Jeff, as mentioned, you've been in the Google Ads game since 2004. I had to have you on. You've been doing this since long before it was cool. How has the platform evolved from a relatively simple tool to it is very complex and it is very algorithm driven, this environment that our business owners, including many of our listeners, are facing now in 2026?
Sure. So it has evolved a lot. Originally started just the keyword and the ads. And now Google really tries to focus on search intent, not just what someone types in, but what they're really trying to get at. And so that's really changed how the algorithm shows the ads. It's not just based on the keywords that you put into it. And as you mentioned, they're taking away some of that control such that you really need to make sure you're focused on the right goals, and it's very goal driven.
Interesting. And I have heard you say that business owners shouldn't trust the process. They should actually trust the results. Why has the traditional agency model failed so many entrepreneurs lately?
Well, in some ways, I don't think Google Ads even belongs in a traditional agency managing it, because agencies are focused on new shiny objects. And really what matters in Google Ads is discernment, really understanding what's working today, testing new things, but always coming back to the bottom line of, are you getting a positive ROI on every dollar you invest? It's not about branding or visibility, which is what a lot of agencies really want to focus on.
Yeah, really, really interesting. And can you walk us through your lead engine concept? How does a business transform paid search from a monthly expense actually into what I know they all hope and dream of it becoming, a reliable growth system?
Absolutely. And the first thing to really do is to focus on the right conversions. And that might sound super obvious, but we've taken over accounts for clients and found that, for example, a credit union, the former agency was driving conversions that were driving directions. That is not what the credit union wants to be spending money on to get someone there. They want people who are signing up for loans, that are signing up for savings accounts and checking accounts. So really understanding what that conversion is, then you need to know your numbers. What's the value of a lead or a conversion for you? And then the next piece is really being clear on your business differentiators. So a lot of people think they just need to advertise on the keyword that someone might be looking for in their category. But if you can't really say what's different about doing business with you, people are going to click on all of the ads and read them all, and you're going to spend a lot more money and not get the kind of clients you want. So we really help businesses do that and stand out from their competition. And then it's staying in front of prospects. You may not convert, or you don't convert every person who clicks on your ad the first time. So finding ways either through retargeting or getting people onto lists that you can follow up with email and build some trust there is an important part of having a lead engine.
In your experience, why do most Google ad campaigns underperform? Is it a technical setup error, or is there actually a failure to uncover deep and clear differentiators for the brand?
It's often both, but
Yeah.
I think the one that's hardest to fix is that they're really not spending the time on figuring out how they stand out online from their competition. And until they do that, they're they're going to have a much harder time getting a cost per lead that is something they can continue to invest in and over the long term. They're going to just spend too much money on people who are tire kickers who aren't a good fit for their organization. So they really need to get super clear about that.
I'm chatting with Jeff Coleman, the founder of Factor 4 Marketing and architect of the Lead Engine. We're going to squeeze in a break in about a minute. But before we actually get there, Jeff, I'm really curious. You manage over $4 million in annual ad spend. Does the strategy for a local service business differ fundamentally from the approach that you take for a Fortune 500 organization?
It does to a small degree, but most of the fundamentals are the same. The big difference is when you're focused on a local business, you have to have a broader set of keywords, broad match. If you're talking about a national business, they can stay a lot more focused because they just have a bigger market to choose from, more people who are searching for what they're looking for. But it very much depends on the particular service that they're offering.
Very, very interesting. Once again, chatting with Jeff Coleman. Jeff, I'll call it candidly. There's a lot of BS in digital marketing, buzzwords, vanity metrics. A lot of people say a lot of things, but as you say, what matters is the results. What's one metric that business owners think is important, but actually has very little to do with their bottom line?
Well, it's actually how a lot of agencies combine a metric. So they will show you a cost per lead that may look very reasonable, but what they do is they blend branded terms in with unbranded terms. Branded terms are when someone's searching for the name of your company. If they're searching for that, they already know about you. They're likely to do business. And hopefully your cost per lead on that is very low. And we always work with clients to make sure it is. But when you mix that with the unbranded, when people are actually looking for a new provider of the service they're looking for, when you combine those two, it gives you the false idea that the cost per lead is much lower than it is. We always break that out for clients so that they can see what a new customer is costing them versus bringing back an existing customer.
Jeff, as a former university instructor, you've taught the next generation of marketers. What's the most important lesson you want every business leader to understand about leveraging the algorithm without losing control of their budget?
It comes back to really understanding your goals for your campaign and making sure you are targeting exactly what you want people to do, because the more the algorithms are controlling the environment, the more they're going to feed you exactly what was defined as success. And so until you have that really well defined and making sure you're not getting leads that you don't want in your mix, you're going to pay for things that you don't really want. And that just runs through your budget very quickly, and you often makes campaigns not profitable.
Mm-hmm. So if our listeners, if a listener who's tuning in is currently spending money on Google Ads, but they feel that they aren't seeing the ROI, what's the first three things that they should look for in their account tomorrow morning?
The first is to make sure geographically you're targeting where you really want to. A lot of local service businesses target a much larger area than they should, because when people are looking online, they have a lot of options. It's not like when they get a referral. So if you're looking for an attorney, you might drive 15 miles to go see one. But if you're looking online, you're probably not going more than 5-7 miles, depending on where you live. So that's a key one. The second is to look at those conversions and what is actually being counted as a conversion, and make sure it's what you really want to spend money on. The third would be to really look whether the actual terms that your ads are showing for, not just the keywords you've chosen, but your keyword insights are showing that the keywords are a good fit for your business.
Well, I've learned a lot from you today, Jeff, and I want to make sure our listeners can continue learning from you. Your agency, of course, is doing awesome stuff, Factor 4 Marketing, as well as what you call the Lead Engine. How can we get in touch if we want to learn more?
Sure. You can find us at Factor, FACTOR 4 FOUR.com. And we would be happy to connect. And we love talking with people and helping them out, even if they're not going to become a client. It's just, I love to educate people.
Well, I appreciate you demystifying this important topic. Again, you've stuck with this for over 20 years, which predates most modern agencies. And I love that you and your team are continuing to innovate along the way. That's a wrap for us this week on Get Down to Business, the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. Of course, we'll be back next Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on 856 The Answer, wherever podcasts can be found. Get in touch with me on my website, syklein.com. And, of course, go on your favorite podcast app. Just search for Get Down to Business. But, my friends, subscribe, rate, review, and share so you don't miss a single episode. And so your friends and colleagues won't miss an episode either. To success, let's get down to business. We'll see you next time.